Hey everybody, welcome to Occupation Story Hub. Today we have our first tools of the trade interview where Billy is going to showcase his top tools he uses in his electrician trade. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Billy. And if you don't mind, just hit on your top tools and tell us a few things about them and why they're important.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you for having me, Mr. Occupation Story Hub. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Um, so here's just a quick little rundown, real quick. I'm gonna go over about 8 or 9 tools. One one tool that's I wish that I would have had like earlier on is, and let me know if you could see these. If you could, if you need me to, move them any different way. But so this is what I would recommend. This would be like the first tool that I would buy.
Back it out a little bit. Okay, there he is.
So this is going to be a flashlight that has a focus beam. You could focus it, right? It has a sealed beam. And then also, it's a flashlight that has a wide beam. And the reason why I recommend this, make sure you get one that this is a pretty cool tip. Something that like I would prefer with all of my flashlights is that it has a magnetic clip. Make sure it's magnetic because you're going to be working above the ceiling tile grids. You're going to be working around like a lot of boxes, electrical boxes, four square boxes, boxes that have like your wire running through them. And what's pretty cool is you when you're working, you need two hands. You could put this. You can attach this to like a pipe, a conduit, a box right above you, and where you don't have to hold this in your hand. Also, too, what you can do is you could look for the little shorter ones, and then you can use this and you could clip it to your hat if you get a shorter one. So that while you're working, it's hands free. You can have both of your hands at your disposal. Just making things more convenient for you. So a light, number one, that's one of the things that I recommend because you need to see because you're going to be showing up to work about what 5:45, 6 in the morning, and most of the places the power's not on yet. So
Makes
the next
sense.
one
Makes
is you're going
sense.
to get yourself like a good 10-in-1, like a screwdriver. 10-in-1.
What is that, Milwaukee?
Yeah, it's a Milwaukee right here. Milwaukee 10-in-1, 11-in-1. You're going to need a good like flathead, Phillips. If you want to invest in like a set that has a bunch of the different bits, security bits, I would recommend doing that, getting yourself like a bit kit to go along with this and carry it with you. That's going to be tool number two. Um, all right. Tool number three to go along with the 10 or 11-in-1, get yourself a tweaker. This is a smaller screwdriver. They call this a tweaker. This is like a little technical screwdriver, little tech screwdriver. It's going to be a smaller little flathead and a little Phillips bit, and it's also going to come with a bunch of different interchangeable bits. This is also a Milwaukee right here.
What do
Okay,
you typically use that for?
so let's see. For example, I'll give you a quick example. Yesterday, I was putting up a faceplate. I mean, excuse me, not faceplates. You use them for faceplates when you're putting in the data jacks in the wall, taking them off, putting them on. But a cool thing is, yesterday I had to take down a wireless access point.
Okay.
That's up in the ceilings. If you look up, you'll see like a little white box, a little white square. Wherever
Like
you
a
go, there's
wireless
usually a
router
green.
almost, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like a wireless router. You'll see it usually has like a green light on it. So there's little set screws in there, and you need to like when you're installing, you need to like install the set screw, and when if you're removing them, you need to remove the little set screw, and it's a tiny little Phillips head. So it's like a little specialty screwdriver. So you're gonna need one of
Okay.
those to take little things off like that. Um, Trying to think what else you need for a tweaker. Oh, if you're like installing cameras, a tweaker is really good because for those small specialty screws, little tiny like finish screws and like set screws and stuff like that. So that's I would say tool number three. And you can also get here's another little specialty technical screwdriver. This is one that comes in a kit. Usually when you're installing speakers or cameras, they give you one with the company. And this company is it's kind of faded already because it's been used, but it's called Extron. And all it is another little dual-sided Phillips and a flathead, small little tech screwdriver. It's good to have multiple of those because you lose them on the job. They fell out of your pockets,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just leave them up where you're working and stuff. The next one I would recommend is this is going to be your pretty much your go-to. These are like your electrical snips. These may look like scissors, but they're not. Um, Cutting wire, stripping wire. I don't know if you can see, but they
It's a
have
cutter
two
and a
little.
stripper.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
I see it
cutter
right
and a
there.
strip.
Yep, I
See the
see it.
little grooves
Mhm.
right here?
Yep.
So a lot of people don't know this. A lot of guys in the trade don't know it, but you can strip your wire with that. You just basically hold it at a 45-degree angle, hold your wire, and then just strip it off. That would be tool number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry about that. 1 second. Let's see here. And still good? Okay. You can edit that out. All right. Here's another one for doing fire alarm. Stripping fire alarm wire. This is your basically your wire stripper. And it has all the different gauges of wires labeled right here coming down. It's a Milwaukee also. Milwaukee's a pretty good brand. Milwaukee, Fluke, Klein, those are the brands that you want to be using for your tools. And like I said, all the different wire gauges are here. It's basically self-explanatory. You just stick your wire in there, with the corresponding wire gauge, and then
Yeah, it makes
there's a
sense.
little locking mechanism on the front. You just hit that, pop them open, and then stick your wire in there, and then you clamp it, and you just pull it out. So, for example, I'll give you a quick little example. So on here, stick your wire in there, clamp it, and you pull it out. You just hold it at you always want to hold it at a slight little degree of an angle, maybe 30-degree angle. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's another great tool that you're gonna need. You're gonna need day one. This is your level, and this is also a magnetic level. This is a Klein. When you're putting up. For example, I'd use this. I was putting up some fire alarm exterior speakers, the horns for the outside to sound off if there's a fire alarm. And you want to make sure whatever you're putting up is level. You don't want it to be all cockeyed
Yeah, yeah,
because guys, people. Well, you got the inspector, you got the GC, the general contractor, you got your lead, your foreman. You know, they walk around the job sites and they kind of check out work. They check out people's work. So if they see you working on a fire alarm speaker and then they walk by and it looks all, cockeyed, looks all
yeah.
crooked. Hey man, don't you got a level? So, don't embarrass yourself on the job. Just get a level. It's
Something
easy.
simple, right? Just keep your
Something simple.
like you said, keep you from embarrassing yourself.
Yeah. You want to make sure that you have good craftsmanship. You do good quality work. You don't want to be known for, man, that guy's stuff's always crooked. Here's another tool just to impact. This is a drill. This is a brushless DeWalt. You can get a Milwaukee. I have a couple Milwaukees over here. This is I believe it's a 20 volt. Yeah, 20 volt Milwaukee Phillips tip. Get yourself. So, what I would do, one suggestion that I would do is for your bit, I would make sure that you have some nut drivers. Nut drivers, it's a little bit that fits on it's a little bit that fits on the end of your drill, and it has like a depressed circle in the middle with it's like a hexagon or octagon shape. So that way I think it's hexagon. So that way you can put on. You're going to be putting on like J hooks, right, to support your wire. So the hexagon head drill bit. What that's going to allow you to do is going to give you a better bite when you're putting in J hooks. Let's say you're up on a 12, 14-foot ladder. You don't really have like the let's say you have nothing to hold on to. You want to make sure that when you're putting all your weight forward to drill, you want to make sure that you're not going to lose your balance and you have the tightest bite on your screws, on your self tappers as possible. A lot of the times with a Phillips bit, they wobble,
Mm.
and they jump, and you can lose your balance and you can fall off the ladder. So I would recommend a nut driver.
When you said that, I
Uh,
could just picture that
yeah,
happening.
yes, I would recommend like a nut driver set. That's going to save you a lot. Plus, it gets a better bite in the metal studs when you're drilling the J hooks in. So a drill, compact, cordless. Some companies provide you with them. I mean, it's always just good to be self sufficient and have your own stuff.
Yeah, I use it at home and stuff, right?
Yeah, you can
A lot
always
of
use
these
it
tools you can repurpose at home.
for sure. So here's another really good tool. This is called a lineman. These are called electricians linemans, Klein or whatever. So basically, this is a heavy duty set of pliers. They have some cutters. You can use these. So sometimes you're going to need to knock out your boxes, like your 4 square boxes. You're going to need to, you know, basically just hit. There's like circles in the metal boxes where your
Okay.
wire is going to go. So you're going to,
Mm.
just knock out like the little metal cutouts,
Perforations. Mhm.
This is also good. Let me see here. What do we use our linemans for? You can also use this. Uh, just pliers, just a set of pliers. Keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like if you need to clamp something down, right? Um, Also, too, today I was using my linemen's for when we're pulling wire, we're pulling cable. You can wrap your meal tape or your string around your tool, and you could use this as a to help you pull to get more leverage. So, I mean, that's also cool. And then the last tool I like to talk about, this is your punch down tool. And you're going to be needing this when if you do a lot of data. This is a punch down tool. This is obviously like taped up because it's like been 5 or 6 years in the use. So this is a Klein or Fluke. Basically, it's a 110. It's a 110 tip on this side,
Hmm.
and then this is what you're going to use to punch down. Basically, you're going to have a flat side that's going to
What do you mean? What
push
do you mean
in,
by punch down?
punch down. So, like for example, if you have a data jack, um, let's think about if you have like a faceplate on your wall, and looks like it has a phone jack, and it's blue.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
RJ45.
Yes, or you're going to plug your patch cord into. Okay, this is going to be terminating that jack in the wall. So this isn't to terminate a RJ45, and RJ45 is the ice cube, the clear ones. So those are going to
Yep.
be
For like
RJ.
telephone landlines, right?
Yeah,
Those
but
ones.
so say
You're
say
talking
for
about like
example,
for
like
like a Cat 6.
yeah, it's for Cat 6. So or Cat 6A. So or Cat 5 or whatever. Um, let's say for example, like you're getting moved to a new building, and all the wires already ran. And then you walk into the new building day one, you look and you sit down, they give you an office, and you look at your wall, and there's a faceplate with like a 4 port, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 blue jacks, and you're like, and it's labeled, and you're like, okay, well, I need to plug my computer in. So basically, you get your patch cord and you just plug it into one of those slots. So this is what terminates those. Terminates means you get your wire. I think I have a jack over here, but you get your wire, and basically you just lay your wire in according to the color code. Um, Here's a little tip. In my trade, we typically 99% of the time we use color code B. So color code A is only for like special exceptions. So learn the color code B for your jacks. That's something in our trade, in our industry. Like I think I've used color code A one time out of like 5 6 years. So I mean, color code B is what you're going to be using to terminate. Using that color code. So, but here's your 110 for punching down those um the Cat 6 Ajax. And then if you flip it over, you can take it out. You just twist it, pull it out, flip it over. And this is going to be your 66 for punching down like 25 pair for like phone lines and stuff like that. And
Okay.
then it has like a flat tip on the bottom, and then it has like a little overbite with the blade on top for so that way you could cut. So and pretty much those are the tools that I would recommend. Like for you're just starting out, that you should have in your tool bag. Another one is a drywall saw, but I mean, that could come later. There's also we can also do another video, another show on some like a little more advanced tools. I can show you a toner, and some other tools that I use. But
Oh, that'd
that's
be
pretty
cool.
much it. I'll give you like a quick little. We'll summarize, and real quick, I'll show you the tools one more time. So the most important one is when you get on the job, you're gonna need to be able to see. So having a good flashlight.
Flashlight.
And it's key to make sure it's magnetic. It's key. I seen this the other day I stopped at a yard sale, $4, right? You can get them on Amazon, 10 bucks. It's really, really convenient. If it has a clip, you can put on your hat. Make sure it's magnetic. You can put it on the wall. This one's rechargeable, so it's a really cool one. This is an off brand, so you could
No,
find
that's
these.
cool, especially like that rechargeable ability.
Yep, for sure.
Charge it on the way on the drive to the job site, right?
Yep. Your 10-in-1, 11-in-1 screwdriver. Okay. And then you're gonna have your tech screwdriver, which is for your specialty screws. When you're working on your WAPs, your cameras, put it on faceplates, when you need like a smaller little pattern, um, Phillips or flathead. Uh, and then here's another little one, little specialty one, tiny little, same thing as that Milwaukee. And then you're gonna have your snips. I recommend you getting a good pair of snips. Milwaukee, these are good. And then it has like a little your wire stripper on the end, right there on the end too. Those. We'll round it out with the even number, and we'll call this part of the tools too. Get yourself a little pouch. This is a cool little pouch for you could put your snips in. And then
There you go.
it has like a little thing on the back. It's nice. And get yourself a good leather one so that way you can put it on your belt. Carry this around. and then I usually put my snips like that, so these don't poke a hole in your pants. I put this in here and just throw that in my pocket like that.
Nice.
And then you're gonna need your wire strippers, a good set of wire strippers, your linemen's, your punch down tool for your 110 66 for your Cat 6.8 jacks, and for the 25 pair to punch down, and then your level, magnetic level. Make sure you get a good level because you don't want to be putting stuff up all crooked. You're gonna get a name for yourself, and then just a drill, just a regular drill. This is a DeWalt, nothing crazy. Right, Ryobi's fine. People laugh at you if you walk on the job site with a Ryobi, the green one, like just from Lowe's. They'll be like, "This guy." So don't make that mistake. But if that's all you have, that's all you have, right? Um, Milwaukee, everybody. I don't know. I use DeWalt, but Milwaukee's cool too. Um, and this is the impact. Anything more heavier duty than that, the shop should provide. It's pretty much a little
That's
rundown
good.
of my
Yeah.
tools I use on a day to day.
I appreciate that. That's kind of what we wanted, just to highlight, working in this is the electrician's trade. These are the kind of tools that you should at least be able to identify and get familiar with. But hey, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. This was good, quick and to
yeah.
the point, right?
One more thing for sure. One more thing I would recommend. Quick little tip along with the tools. So a good electrician told me a long time ago, "Hey man, look, if you're gonna go up on the ladder and you need to you need to like send in 4 screws, take 6 screws with you, because you're always gonna drop one." And the same electrician told me, "Hey, a good electrician always has 2 to 3 rolls of tape on them, because when you're up there on the ladder, and sometimes you're trying to tape stuff up, you're in a hurry. Sometimes you'll drop the tape. So it just happens. Like even if you're like a sure-handed like an NFL player, they drop passes, right? Or as far as wide receivers. So it's just gonna happen. You'll see what I mean. Once you're on the ladder and you're working and stuff. Sometimes you're holding 2 or 3 things together, and then the tape just slips and falls. Guess what? If you don't have like 2 or 3 rolls of tape in your pocket, then you're gonna have to get off the ladder. You're gonna have to put everything back down. You're gonna have to start all over again.
Yeah.
But if you
No,
have
that's
two
a
to
good
three
tip.
rolls of tape in your pocket, electrical tape is what I'm referring to. Basically, you can reach in your pocket, even if you have a small little roll, right? Little backup roll. You just reach in your pocket, and while you're still holding you don't lose your progress, and you just get right back to working. So it's just a couple little things that like help me out.
To tell you're an electrician, 'cause at the job site, you still got electrical tape in your pocket, right?
Yeah, I'm
All
always
right,
handing
Billy.
out tape. I'm always handing out tape. The guys, some of the apprentices on the job, other guys, like they're like, "Dang, I don't have no tape. Oh man, I don't have no Velcro. Oh man, I left my snips. Oh, I'm glad you brought up on the job. Um, in closing, make sure you have a good Sharpie with a sharp tip.
Mm.
You're gonna need to label a lot. You're gonna need to label your wire. So that's one thing that I see. That's one thing that I recommend to you. I don't have mine on me, but yeah, you're gonna need a Sharpie. You're gonna need a Sharpie for sure. Milwaukee sells like a good box of like fine tip Sharpies for like I don't know $3 to $5. Get yourself a box because they're gonna dry out. You're gonna lose them. Somebody's gonna need to borrow one. Sometimes your boss needs to borrow one, and because they leave their stuff in the truck all the time, and you never get them back. So you're like, damn, I need my Sharpie, And I gave it away, so
I'm not
yeah.
an electrician, but now I'm gonna go buy some Sharpies and some electrical tape.
Oh, for sure.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Appreciate it.